Assalamualaikum and a very good evening. Today is November 28, Saturday, and now it's 9:58 p.m. Okay, so the title of my project paper is the experience of Year 5 pupils in using WOW to develop English vocabulary, and this is my chapter 4, the research findings. I have 3 research questions for this paper. For research question 1, this paper investigate Year 5 pupils' motivation levels based on ARCS model. The data will be was analyzed quantitatively. For research question 2, how do Year 5 pupils of different races, socioeconomic status, and mobile device familiarity level view the use of WOW as a tool to enhance their vocabulary learning? And for research question 3, how does WOW assist pupils in their vocabulary learning? So 4.1, this is the demographic background of the participants. So I have discussed this previously, and I have made no changes to this. For race, there are 3 races. There are 3 groups of race in this study, which are Malay, Indian, and Orang Asal. For this part, I have discussed the relationship between race and the participants' ability in English. So it is established that these participants are selected as participants because they have low intermediate level of English, and they are grouped based on their performance in their final year examination. So me, which is the teacher, and the researcher know the most of the participants, and I know most of their language ability and proficiency. Thus, based on my analysis of the demographic data, there is no significant difference between the participants' race and their language ability, as particularly for the Malay and Indian participants. This is because for both Malay and Indian participants, they have good, medium, and low low language ability participants. So they have balanced number of them for average, good, average, and poor students. However, there is hardly differences in the participants' language ability among the Orang Asal participants. So based on the researchers' field notes, majority of the Orang Asal participants struggle with English language. This is the inferences. The inference is also supported by the preliminary information collected from several teachers with vast experience with the Orang Asli community. They have stated that majority of the Orang Asal pupils score poorly in the English language. And then also I have quoted Khairi Fakri and Nur Ehsan 2020, which noted that Malaysian indigenous learners learn English language as their foreign language, which is the third language. They have very limited exposure to the language. Therefore, it's not surprising that they have poor ability or poor language proficiency in English. Okay, next variable is socioeconomic status. So I have also grouped the participants into 3 groups, which are the B40, M40, and T20. I have revised here what are the difference between T20, M40, and B40. Also, in this part, I have inquired the link between socioeconomic status and the participants' language proficiency ability. So based on the field notes made by the researcher, it is noted that B40 participants, majority of the B40 participants have low proficiency ability. Okay, this is also based on the analysis of the demographic data. This is often, the participants from B40 group are often associated with the issue of low school attendance. So also based on the further discussion with the school teachers, it is found that majority of the pupils who were inclined to skip schools were the pupils from families with low income. Therefore, the researcher believed that the issue with their language proficiency, the poor language proficiency, may be attributed or may be caused by the lack of exposure because they have regularly been absent from school. Okay, so in another separate interview or another separate observation made by the researcher to the participants, there are 3 research participants who acknowledge that they have been sleeping late at night, and thus they skip schools most of the time because they have slept late. the night before. So there are participant 1, participants B1, B3 and B2. So for B1, he said that I woke up late. I stayed up to play video games after my parents went to sleep. And for B3, I always sleep after 1 a.m. and I just play on my phone until late at night. For B2, last night I slept at 2:30 a.m. I have to wait for my father to get home from work to unlock the door. Okay, there were also several participants who were absent on the day of the interview. So some of their friends have been revealing or disclosing that they have been helping the family members. So they skip school, or their reasons that they skip school is because they are helping their parents mostly. So for this part, the first statement is from a friend or from a pupil who is describing reporting about his friend. Okay, so next one is this is the third variable, level of familiarity with mobile devices. So this is also, there are also 3 groups to level of familiarity, which is high, medium and low. And I have refreshed that participants' level of familiarity with mobile device was measured by the frequency of using mobile devices, their aptness in handling mobile devices, and their regularity in using mobile devices for both learning and playing games. Okay, so this part we are answering the research question. The first one is, what are the year 5 pupils motivation levels based on ARCS model? Okay, so these are the table for mean, standard deviation, level, and Cronbach's alpha of each construct in ARCSV. So there are 5 constructs: attention, relevance, confidence, satisfaction and volition. So the mean for this construct, the highest level is 3. There are three high level of construct, which is satisfaction, attention and relevance, and then confidence, followed by confidence and volition. For the Cronbach alpha, I have one good Cronbach alpha, 0.805, which is the satisfaction, and 0.786, 0.718, this acceptable Cronbach's alpha. And then poor, two construct with poor Cronbach alpha, which is confidence and volition, with 0.513 and 0.507. Okay, so 4.3.1, the first construct is attention. So this one we have discussed previously. So basically what I have stated the percentage of participants based on item 1 until item 6. So I have 5 construct in ARCSV, and each construct I have 6 items for each construct. Okay, and then firstly 63.3% 63.3% participants acknowledge that they are curious to learn and explore the language through play, while 71.3% participants agree that they appreciate the graphics and animations in the game. 61.7% participants found that the audio incorporated into the game were enjoyable. Other than that, 51.7% participants believe that they are kept active in vocabulary learning through WoW. Also, 71.7% of the participants agreed that they enjoy positive reinforcements in WoW, such as the displayed scores on the leaderboard, prompt feedback, and other rewards while playing the games. So I have included several of the example of some of the tasks or games that the students are played in WoW. So as we can see here, they have crossword puzzle, and then we have true and false game show quiz, in which they chose the best answer for based on the picture, and then spelling game, which is hangman. Okay, the second construct is relevance. So this is the relevance. Here I talk about that the participants are low intermediate level in English language proficiency with A1 level in CEFR. And I have also included this is CEFR targets for each education, in which it is stated that A1 is supposed to only be at free school, and for primary school they should have moved to A2. Okay, and then this is the items for relevance. There are 6 items in relevance. Based on the result of the data analysis, 48.7% of the participants acknowledged that WOW motivated them to learn English vocabulary. 58.3% of them also agreed that they applied their previously learned language while solving tasks. 41.7% of the participants agree that they use newly learned and practiced vocabulary in other language skills. And then another group of participants, 41.7%, always reflect on errors based on the feedback. Then lastly, 55.0% highly agree that relevancy refers to the opportunity to learn at their own pace, could be accessed regardless of time and place. Okay, so this is the third construct, which is confidence. Okay, so I have discussed the percentage, also each percentage for each item. Firstly, 70.4% of the participants have higher confidence level in vocabulary after completing the games. 65% of participants admitted that they are not afraid of making mistakes when learning English using WOW. And then 51.7% participants felt more encouraged to continue playing after receiving the prompt feedback. 55.6% confidently acknowledged that WOW strengthens their memories of the word meaning and spelling. And then 58.3% of the participants say that it was easy for them to understand the mechanics of WOW and navigated their way through the games, which contributes to their high level of confidence and positive perceptions through the use of WOW in vocabulary learning. So I've included several screenshots of the game. This is the next construct, which is satisfaction. Okay, so data analysis revealed that 56.7% of the participants agreed that learning vocabulary through WOW improved their knowledge of vocabulary. 60.4% of participants acknowledged that their problem-solving skills have improved when they completed tasks in WOW. And then many participants, which is 71.7%, agreed that pictures, the main multimedia element in WOW, help to accelerate participants' understandings of the word meaning. 78.3% of the participants also admitted that they enjoyed seeing and checking scores of the leaderboards. And then lastly, it's 70% of the participants agreed that learning while playing is a fun way to learn vocabulary. This is the last construct, which is volution. So for volitional strength, this is the lowest, the mean for this construct. So 43.3% participants agreed that they learned to track learning progress and know what to do to improve scores, while 45% of the participants acknowledged that they continue trying to complete the game on their own. On the other hand, a total of 18.4% of the participants disagreed with the statement, which indicate that they were more likely to quit playing when faced with difficulties. And then the next item, the participants were divided in their answers, where 23.3% of the participants agreed that they feel dejected when receiving low marks. However, 35.3% denied. And then the next item, 76.6% agreed that they were able to focus on and complete tasks without being distracted. 48.3% of the participants agree, and another 41.7% somewhat agree that they were able to maintain motivation throughout the process of using WOW vocabulary games. So in total, almost 80-something of the participants agreed. Lastly, 71.7% of the participants are interested in continuing using online games in English learning.